Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Talk with Ivan. I run a digital business and I partner with people literally in the four corners of the world. People ask us, what is your business? What is it you do? Tell me about it. Can I do this in my country? And the answer to all those questions, you're going to get right here, because what I do in these interviews is literally speak to people all over the world. All right. And to find out about their business, their journey into the business, why they started their business, and how it actually works with their life, because anyone can do it. You don't need any experience. You can run this business alongside a full-time job. All right. And you can run this alongside raising a family. And today I am going into Africa, and I'm talking to a lovely lady who is originally from Zimbabwe, who now lives in Kenya, and she is called Angella. Hello,
Hey,
Angella.
Ivan. How are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, thrilled
Thank
to
you
see
for
you.
having me here today.
My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. You know,
I know,
and as
I know that. I know that people on my page are looking forward to this interview because I'm going to be asking you questions as well. So it's kind of
you
like,
are,
oh my
you
God,
are.
I've got Ivan.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. Can't wait. Yes, I love these type of things though, where we can just have a conversation. You know, I prefer this type of setup. To be fair, you know, where
Yeah.
rather than me just ask a question and you answer it, you know, just have just a chat, a conversation. I think it's much better. I'm sure the people watching probably agree as well. So
Oh yeah.
absolutely. So you're a Zimbabwean who lives in Kenya. Tell me about that journey then. So how did you end up in Kenya, and how did you even think about, what was your life like before you started the business then?
So I've been on the expert trail for, I don't know, over a decade now. So I started off in Tanzania, loved Tanzania to bits, but then decided, you know what, the bag is beat and I need to move. So moved to the UK, did a stint in the UK, and then we decided, let's go back to Africa. That's where all the fun is, right? So we moved back to Africa, and we are now in Kenya. And the thing is, I've always wanted to live in Kenya, so I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be in Kenya. And last year, actually, so I started my business consultancy. So I did business strategy. But then I started that right before the pandemic hit. And I just knew that it was going to take a long time before I could even build up the business consultancy. So I started looking for something. I had no idea what, but I just knew I needed a fallback plan. And with the lockdown, it made sense that it had to be online, but I had no idea how to start an online business, right? So,
Sounds
fortunately,
familiar. Sounds familiar.
so fortunately, I saw somebody on the Facebook streets, and she was talking about this online business. I was like, okay, I will have a look at it. I watched the webinar, and yeah, as they say, the rest is history.
It is, absolutely, absolutely. We just want to say hello to a couple of people, Angela, actually. So we've got Sophia, Kate Robel, who's watching from the Philippines. Hi, Sophia.
Hey,
And
Sophia.
we've got Jasmine as well. Hi, Jasmine. Jasmine's watching. So hello. Good to see you here. Thank you for watching.
How did you get started, Ivan?
How did I get started? Well, so we started in kind of the end of June, July 2019, and we didn't kind of consciously go looking for an online business. We just knew we needed to earn more money for a couple of reasons. One was we love travel, as you know, and you've seen our page. So we love travel, and we have travel vloggers, we YouTube and all that type of stuff. So we needed more money to do that. But the bigger why was I'd got my kind of I got my pension statement from my job that kind of showed what I was going to be getting as a pension, and it was like pathetic. And I was like, right, okay, that is not really going to keep us in the manner that we wanted to become accustomed. So we knew we needed to do something else. And then weirdly and unexplainably, Ryan literally was scrolling through his news feed and saw an ad. Right, he hadn't been looking for anything, and it just appeared. It was the bizarrest thing. So anyway, he literally just tagged me in it, as he does, and then left it all to me. And then I went through the process and watched the workshop and was blown away by the opportunity and haven't looked back since. I never expected to. We wanted to find a business that, would generate an income for us, but I never thought we were going to find something that would just fit in so well around our life.
And that's the thing that I love about this business, right? We've all come in with different reasons for starting it.
Yeah.
And it meets us at our point of need.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's incredible, isn't it? But it's adaptable as well. It's so flexible. I think that's what I love about this, is the fact that you can do it from anywhere, you can take it anywhere. Like I said, we travel, so I can literally be on a plane connected to the Wi-Fi, and I can still check in with my business. You could be, in the supermarket checkout with your mobile phone, waiting to put your food through the scanner, and you could be connected to your business.
And that's the thing that people don't understand, because you love to travel, and I love traveling. I'm actually, like I said in my intro, I'm a nomad, and I love that. But the one thing that I always had an issue with was the fact that I'll set up a business in the one country, and then when I leave, I lose the whole infrastructure. Move on to the next country, have to start from scratch. But with this business, you don't have to do all that. You just pack it up and you travel the way you do with all your travels, and you're still working.
I know, it's incredible. I never expected to find that. I get that wasn't a conscious thing. That was it was almost like a nice to have. It was kind of blue sky. I never thought, and so I've been amazed by that. Absolutely amazed by it. So you weren't actively looking for online. So why this business? What made you decide that this was the thing for you to do?
So as I've already mentioned, I love being in different countries, but I was getting tired of always starting and setting up and uprooting my business. So I decided I needed, when I saw this business, I knew that this was exactly what I wanted because of that portability. And I don't lose any of my clients. I don't lose anything by moving countries. All I do is basically get on a plane and I'm in the next country, and my business continues. So I love that bit. And then I decided, you know what, this is me. This will work for me. So I signed up.
I get it. As you said that, I'm hearing the song "This Is Me" in the background playing. That's like the soundtrack to your life, The Greatest Showman.
I like that you mentioned pension, because this is something that most people are looking for, right? Because we're so accustomed to having to work well into our 60s, 70s, and then we retire. But then when you retire, you realize that you have to scale back on a whole lot of things that you used to do when you were working. What was it for you that made you think, oh my God, this is just not right?
What, in terms of my kind of prior to being in the digital business, you mean?
Yeah, and then decided to take on this digital business.
Well, because we wanted more money, we just needed to protect our future. We wanted that backup plan. We needed a plan B. And bear in mind, this is pre-COVID, and that's what kind of makes this, so special, and we're so grateful for it right now, because we've had this digital business that's seen us through the trauma of the past kind of 12, 13, 14 months. And having been able to start to build a business prior to that was perfect. Having a business established that, to be there to help people, because what have people been doing when they've been sat at home for the past, because we've all been locked down at some point over the past 12 months. And so everyone's online.
I'm in lockdown right now.
Yeah, same with us. we've all been on the internet. We've all been, and so working online, my business went from that kind of there to there in the space of a couple of months because of the pandemic, because of people being at home, because of people realizing that they needed a plan B. So it's now is a really good time. In fact, I can't think of a better time for somebody to consider working online. The world has changed, hasn't it? Do you not think the world has changed now? We're never going to go to the way it was before.
It definitely has. And online is the way to go.
It is.
We actually have no idea when the next lockdown will come. We were in lockdown last year in March, and then it was eased in April, May. So we haven't been on lockdown since May. And then out of the blue, we are back in it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that sort of disruption is not good for any business, really.
Yeah.
So if you want to safeguard your business, your investments, then online is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely is. It absolutely is. So when you decided to join and then you went through the process and you started your business, how did you find learning? How did you find kind of learning about working online and going through that process? How did you find that?
Oh, that was very easy. So my major fear was that I'm not techie. And I was just thinking, am I going to have to be setting up all those systems myself? But what I realized was I didn't have to, because all that infrastructure is set up for you. All I had to do was just plug in, go through the training, and implement what I've learned. It's the easiest business ever, really.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And for me, I'd never worked online before. So, learning about working online in social media marketing, that was all new. But the training did make it so very, very easy, because it's presented in such an easy to understand way, isn't it? Do you not think?
It is. I'd heard people talking about earning on social media, but the very concept of earning on social media actually didn't make any sense to me. I could see that people were doing it, but I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But ever since I've joined this business, now I can see it and I'm doing it, which is awesome. Because the training is set up in such a way that is accessible to anyone.
It is.
Regardless of your background, your educational background, regardless of what you did in your previous life, we all end up at the same place.
We do. And even that was yet another surprise for me, that because obviously whenever you start something new, there's like, oh yeah, free training provided, full training provided, yes, blah 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 blah. But when we started, I was blown away by the depth and the quality of the training, because it is incredible, right? And the analogy I often use is, we've got people who are literally 20 years old running this business. We've got people who are approaching 70 years old running this business, right? And the 70-year-old, the lady I'm thinking of, in fact, she's not 70, I think she's 68 actually. Until she started her business, she didn't even have a Facebook profile. So she created a Facebook profile and then started a business. And what would she have been, 64, 65? If a lady at that age can do this, anyone can.
That's so true.
It is.
That's so true.
It is. I just want to say hello to a few people, Angela, because we've got quite a few people who are on. So, hi Tigist. Hello, Hanil as well. We've got, and Sophia from the Philippines. We've got Kate, who's watching from Ontario. Jeanette, who's watching as well. Hi. Zen Loris is watching. Hi. She's watching from Canada. So Mahmohan is asking a question. Hi. Hello, Mahmohan. And you also want to know how you can find out more. So what you do, Mahmohan, is you just click on one of our websites and you register to find out some more information, my friend. You just put your name and your email address in, and we'll send you some information. It's as easy as that. All right.
Yeah.
But keep watching, because we've got lots more to talk about now.
So Ivan, what has been your biggest highlight of being a digital business owner?
Biggest highlight for me. Sorry, I'm just plugging myself in. I just realised my battery was about to run out. The biggest highlight. Do you know what? Well, there's a few, right? But I think the best thing for me about working online is flexibility, but it's also the people that I come into contact with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So running a business, working online, is by its very nature quite isolating, because you're working online, so it means you're working in a room, right, with your laptop, and that's it. That's all you need. So having interaction with people can be, for some online businesses, quite small. They might not interact with people. It might all be email, might all be messaging, right?
Oh, yeah.
With this business, it's a complete reverse of that, you see, because every single day I'm talking to people in all over the world, literally in all over the world. And I love that. I love the fact that, I get to interact with these people. And even though I am on my own in my office at home, I am not on my own, right? I love
Not
that.
at all.
Right? And so that, I think, is massive. I think then the flexibility of being able to just have it adapt around your life. So, I've got a full-time job, but I work at home, right? So I don't have to go into an office unless I want to. But when you run a digital business, it's not an issue at all. So if something's happening at home, if I'm having work done at home or something like that, or I need to just pop out and do something, I haven't got to rearrange my entire life to do it. I can just go and do it.
Yeah, that's so true. I think for me, the biggest highlight was, as a solopreneur, you have to be on top of everything.
Yeah.
You need to know
Be
what
organised.
changes are happening in your particular industry. But what I love about being a part of this community is I am not in charge of all those moving parts. There are people who are bringing all that information to me, so I'm always up to date with whatever trends are now on social media marketing, whatever trends on YouTube. All that information is brought to me, and that is a weight off my shoulders. I love that.
Yeah. And that's a really good point, isn't it? Because apart from me saying, we do everything for you. We provide you with all the systems, all the tools, all the training, all the support that you need to run a business. You literally just have to rock up and just think about the advertising element, the marketing aspect of it. That's really where your focus is. It's business in a digital box. That's the best way I can think of it.
Definitely.
You come on with these two electrodes, like you put them on a car battery, and you just stick them on to this box that's a digital business, and you've got power, you're off. It's like a Starbucks, isn't it? We basically give you the keys to the shop that's fully stocked. Everything's in there. You just need to open the door and turn the till on, and you've got a business. That's exactly what this is like.
I couldn't have used a better analogy for our business. It definitely is a business in a box. No need for you to go looking for extra information unless you're so inclined. But otherwise, whatever information we provided in the training is more than sufficient to see you succeed.
It is, and it's always been updated as well. That's the thing. So again, there's this constantly evolving thing, and it's just, honestly, it blows me away every week, because we have the masterminds every week. We have global online workshops that are all recorded, so that everyone can watch them afterwards, don't they? Where it's just more and more training, more and more great insights, more and more great tips. It's always been. I love that. I think that's amazing.
It is. It just makes life that much easier. And running an online business, definitely, when you're talking to people who are running like e-commerce shops and all that, and all the things that they have to go through in terms of making sure that they're stocked up and just knowing what customers need at a particular point in time, it's just too much work. But for us,
it is absolutely.
It's just there.
So Why? What do you think? Because obviously there's a lot of people who, and I understand why people are skeptical and cautious about working online, and I get that fully. But for the people that are skeptical, what would your message to those people be?
Well, you know what? I think I'm the biggest skeptic ever. I do not easily sign up to new things. Even when I service, my first impression was, is this for real?
Yeah.
I was really skeptical. But then I thought, you know what, Angie, if you want change, then you have to be willing to do something different. So I checked out this workshop and decided to sign up. But I didn't just sign up. I did my due diligence. You're provided with all the information about this business, but I still went and looked it all up, tried to triangulate all the information that I received until I got to a point where I was comfortable with partnering with people in this business, because I didn't want to then end up like one of those people who've been scammed online because I didn't do my own investigations, So yeah, do your own investigations, do your own due diligence, and when you're happy with what you find out, then come along and join us. I was going to say karibu sana, which is Swahili for welcome to join us.
I'm learning that. No, very well said, Angela. I think what I would add to that is, I think if this wasn't real, if there was any kind of any part of this was not authentic, I wouldn't have my name and my face out there talking about it. I wouldn't be inviting people to connect with me or personally on Facebook. I wouldn't be sharing the ins and outs of my life and that with people. If I thought that they would be interpreting that in some way that I wasn't a genuine person. That's the whole purpose of being online. That's the whole purpose of doing this, is to show that I'm a real person, that you're a real person. And what you see is what you get. I'm sat here at home in my office, you're sat at home, we're having a conversation. What part of that would, why wouldn't people not expect that be genuine if we're here having this conversation? That bit I don't quite get, but hopefully doing this, they start to understand what I mean, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
What I would also say to them is, because after you watch the workshop, right, then in order to find out everything about the work, everything about what we do, you need to join the program, and that requires payment of a joining fee during the program. But even then, we give you a 30-day money back guarantee for that, so everyone can find out everything that they need to find out about the business, right, and then make a decision as to whether it's right for them or not. Until you get all the information, you can't possibly do that. We give them 30 days for that. So again, we make that risk-free, which I think is a massive thing.
I actually liked that whole 30-day guarantee, because, as I said, I was skeptical. And even though the joining fee is really a token amount, I wanted it back should I find that this is not the right thing for me. Because, like I said, I was skeptical. So that actually helped allay my fears, because I knew that if whatever I found about this business didn't resonate with me, if it wasn't what I was looking for, I could always get my money back.
Yeah, get it, and that's normal. I don't think you're any different to anybody else in that respect. I mean, and so that's exactly the right thing to do, isn't it? But ultimately, we all need the information in order to make a decision, and that's always half the battle, I think, with people. So some people are very I'm not sure they don't want the information, but they want the information just without kind of showing any commitment on their side, which is joining the program. That's what we do that for, to protect our business. We can't give everyone all the facts, can we, straight away?
Well, interestingly, I have had people reach out to me and say, "Oh yeah, I would like to join this business, but I do not have the time to sit down and watch the webinar."
Yeah.
And I
It's,
always say to them, "You know what? If you cannot set aside 90 minutes in your day
it's
to
see you
watch
later,
a
isn't it?
webinar,
Yeah.
I am sorry. I don't think you've got what it takes to
No,
run a business,
no,
really."
absolutely, absolutely. That's
Because there's a
yeah.
whole lot of learning that follows you when you start this business. How are you going to run a business if you can't devote time to learning more about the business?
And the answer is you can't. And
You
my
can't.
answer, my answer is exactly the same as that. And it's sometimes probably a bit blunter because it's because I've not got time, right? I want to talk to people who are interested in starting and investing in a digital business, right?
Yeah,
I haven't got time, right, to waste my time talking to people that can't spare 90 minutes to even watch a workshop, right?
that's why we've got an automated business.
Exactly. But it's not get rich quick, right? And
No.
that's a big thing, right? This is not get rich quick. This is a legitimate business. Any business requires effort. It requires
Oh
time
yeah,
to build it,
definitely,
right? But it's a
definitely.
massive difference though between a digital business and a brick and mortar business. The costs are much lower, and you can do it so much quicker, years quicker, right?
Yeah.
When you think about the time it takes for a brick and mortar business to earn a profit, you're probably looking, I don't know, 5, 6 years easy for a brick and mortar business to earn a profit. That just doesn't even exist in the digital world. You can do it so much quicker than that, so much quicker than that, years quicker than that, years quicker than that.
So we always talk in our community about dreaming big. So Ivan, how has this business allowed you to dream big?
So I'm working towards there's a few things. So I want to be able to do this business full time. I'm working towards being able to replace my income from my full time job with this. Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm working towards. To be able to live that digital nomad life. So what I mean by that is literally to be able to spend more of my time and Ryan's time, my partner, traveling, right, and seeing and exploring this beautiful planet that we live on, whilst having a digital business that's running in the background for me whilst I'm doing that, right, and then just pop home for the occasional few weeks or a month or something here and there, just to
Yeah.
touch back in, just to touch base again, before then going off and doing something else. That's exactly what I am working towards. So, 3, 5 years from now, that's exactly the life that I want to be doing, living and leading.
Awesome.
And,
Awesome.
then the small little thing is just to be able to, my mum and dad, to be able to kind of just give them a surprise, absolute amazing vacation of a lifetime, and literally just send them away for a few months, and just they go and it's all
They
paid
would
for.
love that. They would love that.
I'd love to be able to do that. That'd be amazing. So, what about
You know
you?
what? So before starting this business, I actually realized that I had settled. I had just come to accept my status quo and like, oh yeah, this is it. But since starting this business, I realized the dreamer in me has actually come back to the foreground, where whereas all I used to see were limitations, like, okay, so I can only make so much in a year, and therefore this is the kind of lifestyle I can live. That has all changed. I remember a few months ago speaking to my husband, and we were joking about early retirement and how much we would need for that. And we just started throwing figures around for how much we needed. And obviously, because it was just throwing figures around, it was like millions of dollars for us to retire early, and we laughed it off. But when I joined this business, I was like, you know what? We can retire early on this business. So this is now my dream, to retire early. And then I can become a globetrotter and just see this beautiful planet, like you said. So yeah,
And you know
I'm
what?
I'm dreaming big.
But do you know, what I'm trying to say. We call it dreaming big, but do you know what? I really don't think. I don't think about it as a dream.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen for you, right? There's
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen for me, and I say that because as I know a number of people who are running this business who have that's actually happened for them. I know a
Exactly.
number of people who have just paid off mortgages, have bought homes, have built homes, have done a million amazing things because of this business. And we all plug into the same system. We all plug into the same business system. So if it's happening for them, there's no reason why it's not going to happen for you or for me or for anybody else. And so it's not a dream. It's just a question of time.
Time. That is so true. Because I think for the most part, when you do not have a vehicle that can take you to where your dream is,
Yeah.
you kind of give up because you don't see how it's possible to have that particular dream, right? Because no one around you has got it. But when you shift your focus and you join hands with a group of people for whom there is no limitation, oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh my God. The things that you can achieve, it's mind blowing.
I know. It really is. So, is it all been smooth sailing for you then? So, when you think about how long you've been in the business now, because any business, there's always ups and downs, there's always peaks and troughs. As
Oh,
much
yeah.
as much as we love a trajectory to be like that with a business, it is, and it's a bit like that, But the overall trajectory is certainly up. Has there been any real challenges? Have you had to think of one thing, whether that's personally or business related, that you've had to overcome?
Oh, yeah. Oh gosh, I've banged my head against the table a number of times. Like, oh my God, what is this? How come I can't get this right? But you know what? It happens when you're learning new things. And that's the beauty about learning, because then you go through a growth phase, you go through a learning curve. And once you've mastered it, then it just comes naturally to you. But
Yeah,
yeah, it hasn't been smooth sailing at all. I mean, I've had great times, but I've also had some tough times. But what I've loved about whether I was having a great time or I was having a tough time is that there were always people around me to bring perspective to what I was going through,
yeah.
and people who were letting me know that even this too was going to pass. So the community has been very supportive, and that's what I loved about even those peaks and troughs.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's well said, to be fair, because it is that. I think that's what makes running plugging into this business system different to others, because when you have those days where you kind of you're feeling a bit kind of like blah, and it's like, oh, you're surrounded by people that'll pick you up.
Yeah.
But do you know what I got so much reassurance from when I started was um, the fact that I was being taught by people that had basically done exactly the same thing. So they travelled down the road, they'd been down in the trenches, they picked themselves up, they dusted themselves off, they climbed out, and they carried on. So I didn't need to I knew that I wouldn't be making the same mistakes they made. I knew that my road was going to be smoother, right? And
Yeah.
that was so reassuring, because that's what when you have a coach and a mentor, that's exactly what they're doing. They are guiding you so that you don't make the same mistakes that they made. And that was a real mindset thing for me, because it literally just made me switch from I hope I can make this work to I will make it work. And that was a mindset change for me, because because of that reassurance, because of that guidance that we got.
Most times we underestimate the importance of mentors and
Mm.
coaches in our lives. And I don't know that I would say underestimate, but most times they come at a cost. So, and people cannot always afford to have a mentor and a
Right.
coach. And so we just make do with what we've got. But this business understands that you need a mentor and you need a coach, and they're provided for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love that.
and no extra cost. This is, here's your mentor. They will walk you through this business. You have a question, they're there to guide you. So it's fantastic, really. It was one of the reasons that I actually joined this business, because I was tired of doing things all by myself.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah. I love coaching people. I love coaching and mentoring people. That's something I'm very, very passionate about, just generally anyway, because I do that in my day job as well. So
Okay.
that was like a natural extension for me to do that in this business. But so rewarding. It is so rewarding because, you know, when you see your team growing and just blossoming into these awesome digital entrepreneurs, these digital marketers, it's the most satisfying thing. I love it. I do, absolutely. Really do. Really do. So this all starts, doesn't it, with a workshop? We've referenced it a few times. I watched it, you watched it, everyone watches a workshop. And the reason why we have a workshop is because it is the easiest way to give you all the information, right? But what, for people that are watching this right now, right? So we've got, I think, 18 people right now online. What would you say to them, right, in terms of why they should invest their time to watch the workshop? What would you say to them?
So if you've got an opportunity to watch the webinar versus having to hear about the business from somebody else, it's always better to hear it from the horse's mouth, because what I take out of the webinar would be different from what Ivan takes out of it. We all process information differently.
Yeah.
So watch the webinar and form your own opinions about this business. Do not rely on somebody else to do it for you. This is why we've got this webinar. It's all the information that you need to know about how to run a business and what this business is all about. So don't delegate it to somebody else, please.
No, good point. Good point. And the workshop's in kind of two halves as well, isn't it? You've got the first half, which is all about the business and working online and how it's set up and everything that you're going to get. You know, and I co-present the workshop, so I get to do that myself. So I'm honoured to be doing that. But the second half of the workshops are people just like you and me who come on and basically share their story. You know, these little testimonials about, so you get to see real people who are actually running a business, right? And you get to hear from them and you get to hear what this business has given them. And that I never cease to be inspired and amazed. Every time I did a workshop, I'm like, oh. So some of the stories are just incredible to me, absolutely incredible. But again, another thing that brings to life the realness, the authenticness of this business, the fact that these people are putting themselves out there to have a conversation with you.
And you can ask questions during that webinar if you join the live webinar. So anything that you do not understand, you'll be answered in real time. So no waiting until whenever.
They will.
Absolutely. It is brilliant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So
do you have any more questions for me?
I think it's time to probably wrap it up. Yeah.
Well, Angela, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been awesome, absolutely amazing. It really has. I've thoroughly loved
I am so delighted to have had this chat with you, Ivan. It's been one of my bucket lists. Like, I need to have Ivan on my page. So super excited that this has happened.
Oh, bless. Oh no, I should be thanking you, honestly. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Seriously has. You know, I've loved every minute. I've loved the conversation. It's been great. Everybody watching, thank you for watching. And I will see you on the next episode of Business Talk with Ivan. So Angela, thank you. Everybody else watching, have a great day. We'll talk to you all soon.
Bye.